Hi land stewards, I'm Isabel, and today I'm here in eastern Wisconsin to teach you about some common invasive species that can be found across the Midwest. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about a non-native species known as wild parsnip. I'm going to go over a few key characteristics to help you identify it, and then discuss some methods of control. Wild parsnip is a biennial plant, meaning it has a 2-year life cycle, and it's in the carrot family. Wild parsnip is native to Asia, Europe, and North Africa. Wild parsnip is well adapted to all soil types, so it can be found in uplands or lowlands. It does prefer sunny areas, so you're not going to find it in shade or in an understory of a woodland. Wild parsnip, like other invasive species, loves disturbance, so it can commonly be found in roadside ditches, and it also tends to invade old pastures or hayfields. In the first year of growth, wild parsnip grows as a basal rosette, meaning all of the leaves are coming out of the ground at one point and there's no stem. The basal rosette can grow up to about 6 inches in height. In the first year, the best key feature to help you identify parsnip is going to be its leaves. So here we can see a close-up of an entire leaf of the wild parsnip. While it might look like this itself is one leaf, from the base all the way to the tip is a singular leaf, and each of these is actually called a leaflet. So each leaflet, you can see, has some pretty deep lobing, and the edges are finely serrated. The leaflets branch opposite off the stem of the leaf and then have one terminal leaflet at the end. There can be anywhere from 5 to 15 leaflets on a singular leaf. In the second year, a key visual marker that can help you identify wild parsnip will be its bolt. Wild parsnip has a stem that shoots up out of the basal rosette and then has a yellow flower at the top. Wild parsnip in its second year can be anywhere from 2 to 5 feet tall. In the second year, some key features that could help you identify wild parsnip would be its leaves and its flowers. The leaves of wild parsnip look the same in the first and the second year growth stages, though in the first year, they're all coming out of the basal rosette in the ground, and in the second year, they also come out of the ground, but then they alternate up the stem of the plant. The flowers at the very top of the plant are yellow and small. They form in an umbel shape, meaning they have a flat top, kind of like an upside down umbrella. Here we have a close-up shot of the wild parsnip flower. We can see the terminal flower here is just starting to turn yellow, and the petals are about to pop. You can see lower on the base of the stem that the flowers come out opposite of the terminal flower, lower down the stem. In late summer to early fall, the flowers will transition into seed pods. The yellow petals will drop from the flower and small light brown seed pods will remain in their place. Wild parsnip is an extremely invasive species due to its rapid growth pattern. The first year basal rosette can be very dense and shade out low growing plants beneath. The second year shoot grows very rapidly, and the large umbel flowers also help to shade out other plants. The umbel flower itself has hundreds of seeds in it and are all distributed through wind and fall off the stem very easily. Like other invasive species, wild parsnip can shade out many native plants in whatever ecosystem it's invading. It also can be harmful to animals because it is not a good food source as it's toxic when ingested. The main concern when it comes to wild parsnip is with human and livestock, because when the plant stem or leaves are broken, it excretes a sap that causes burns once it's in contact with the skin. The toxicity of parsnip can also lead to its invasive quality due to humans not wanting to interact with the plant. Both mechanical and chemical methods of control will work on wild parsnip. Mechanical forms of control of wild parsnip include hand pulling or cutting at the very base or even underground part of the stem of the plant. The chemical form of control for wild parsnip would be backpack spraying the basal rosettes in the first year of growth or spraying the low-growing second-year plants in very early spring. No matter what form of control you're implementing, you're always going to want to wear proper personal protective equipment or PPE. Proper PPE should always include closed-toed boots, long pants that cover your ankles, long sleeves that come down to your gloves, proper gloves to ensure that your hands do not come in contact with the sap of the plant, And then you also may want to consider wearing a hat and eye protection to shield your face. When hand pulling parsnip, it's very important to be gentle with the plant. You want to grip the plant at the very base near the soil and tug gently. If you don't feel the plant removing itself, then you may want to stop. It's better to leave the plant than to break it and to harm yourself with the sap. To ensure the full root structure comes out of the ground, it might be best to perform the hand pulling after rain. If you still want to use a mechanical method of control but are unable to hand pull, then you may want to cut the taproot using a shovel. To do this, apply the very tip of the shovel to the base of the plant about 2 inches below the ground and make a clean cut through the taproot. This will ensure that the root has the least amount of resprouts in the future and that your feet do not come into contact with the stem of the plant and harm you from the sap. If you choose to implement a chemical method of control for poison parsnip, you're going to need your backpack sprayer and a chemical mixture. For first-year plants, you're going to want to use up to 3% mixture of glyphosate, and for second-year plants, you're going to want to use a 9.45% mixture of metsulfuron methyl. When spraying chemical to control wild parsnip, always spray the mixture directly onto the base foliage near the ground. Don't spray above your waist and make sure to pay attention to the wind. Always read the label of whatever chemical you're using and make sure to follow those guidelines because the label is the law. If the sap from the wild parsnip plant comes into contact with your skin, go inside and wash it with cold water and soap immediately. When the sap on your skin is exposed to sunlight, that's when blisters and burn-like scars can form. It's important to keep an exposed area out of sunlight for 48 hours after the exposure, even with washing, to ensure no blisters form. Remember to always clean all of your clothes and tools that you used while controlling wild parsnip immediately after controlling the plant with soap and cold water to ensure that the sap doesn't come into contact with your skin later on. When disposing of the plant material, make sure that all of the plant gets put into a sturdy black plastic bag. This bag can be left out in the sunlight for 2 to 3 weeks to ensure that the plant fully dries out and it's not viable anymore. Also, that it won't contain any more harmful sap for your skin. At this point, you're going to want to dispose of the trash bag with your regular trash in the landfill and not compost it so that the plant doesn't have a chance of reseeding later on. For first-year basil rosettes, it's important to perform chemical methods of control in early spring or late fall. You can hand pull at any time throughout the year on the first-year plant. For second-year plants, you're going to want to perform all methods of control in early spring to ensure that the plant does not grow flowers that then become viable seeds. No matter when you're dealing with this plant, it's a good idea to consider the time of day and the weather situation. You may want to perform control on parsnip in the evening so you're not exposed to sunlight or on a cloudy day. Thanks for watching, everyone. Remember, you can take action today to stop the spread of invasive species.